been playing with this CD and a flashlight. Now I'm trying to see, oh, if you turn it just right, you can see rainbow colors. Isn't that cool? Let's see, if I put it up here, what happens? You have to get it just right, and you can see all kinds of things. Isn't that cool? Oh, and here, because I've got another light here. If I turn it just right, you can see. Can you see the rainbow? Isn't that cool? Well, today's Bible story has light in it. So let's get started, okay? This Bible story takes place in Jerusalem many months after Easter. Jesus' friends have been busy telling anybody who would listen all about Jesus, how he had died on the cross, but that on Easter morning he had been raised from the dead, that they had seen him themselves, and that he had finally gone back to heaven, and that even more amazing, Jesus wasn't just a man, he was God's Son himself. Well, this was astonishing. People were fascinated. They wanted to learn more about this, and many people decided they wanted to follow Jesus too. Well, one young man in the city, whose name was Saul, was very upset by this. Saul loved God very much. He had been in the city for months, working with teachers to learn as much about God as he could. He decided he was going to start helping people who were arresting Jesus' friends. And then he heard that in a city miles north of Jerusalem, there were a bunch of people there who were now following Jesus. This had to stop, he said. So he went to the temple and got a letter from one of the most important people in the temple, which said he could go to Damascus and he had authority to arrest people who were following Jesus and bring them back to Jerusalem. And so he set off with some people to help him on his way to Damascus. Well, once they were a few miles away from the city, something really weird happened. All of a sudden, this bright light shone down on them from the sky, so bright that Saul couldn't even see. And he heard this voice saying, "Saul, Saul, why are you hurting me?" And he's like, "Who are you? What is this?" And the voice said, "I'm Jesus. You've been trying to hurt me, but you're only hurting yourself. I need you to go into the city because I have an important job for you to do." And then the voice went away, the light went away, and Saul is there on the road, and he realizes he can't even see. So his friends have to help him into the city, where he spends several days praying, trying to figure out, is this true? Wow, was I wrong? Eventually, one of Jesus' friends in Damascus comes and helps him. And then a few days after that, Saul himself shows up in the synagogue in the city and starts telling everybody that he was wrong, that Jesus is God's Son, and Jesus is somebody really special, and they should believe in him. Well, this was amazing. People thought, isn't this a guy who was trying to arrest us? What is this? Is this true? And it was true. Saul had become a follower of Jesus. And eventually, Saul became a very good worker for Jesus. He ended up traveling from city to city to city, starting new churches for people who believed in Jesus and writing letters that ended up in our New Testament. He was very important. And isn't that cool? Somebody changed when they found out how much Jesus loved him. Cool, huh? So, So, I've got a cool craft that we can do today, and I hope you like it. For this craft, we need some food coloring, a lid. That's a lid from a cottage cheese container, but you could use one, a lid. This is a lid from a jar of nuts, anything that's flat like this, and some toothpicks and some glue, either white glue, clear glue, whatever you got will work just fine. So the first thing you have to do is pour your glue into the container like this. We don't want so much that it spills, but we want it to kind of fill the whole container. Oh, yep, I think I got just the right amount, didn't I? It doesn't look like too much. It's not too little. Next, we need to drop a few drops of food coloring on the top. Not too many. I'm going to use some yellow and maybe just a drop or two of red, not more than that. Okay. Then I'm going to take the toothpick and I'm going to kind of like stir this up like this. Ooh, it makes a little pattern, doesn't it? Colors. Swirl it around. I'm going to swirl it around like this, huh? Okay. And you're thinking, okay, well, yeah, that's cool, but what are we going to do with that? What's going to happen is that we're going to let it dry, and then it's going to turn into a sun catcher that you can hang in the window. And it takes about 5-6 days to dry. And the reason that I picked yellow for this one, very light, is that I made one earlier and I used green and blue and red, but it turned out like this. It comes out really bright, even though it started out with the swirls. The color just kind of spread. And this is okay, but I want to try one that has more light in it. So if you make one, take a picture and send it to H.T. Lee at the church, and we'll compare and see what does yours turn out. I'm going to hang this one up in the window and see if the light shines through it. Kind of cool, huh? So, I'll see you later. I hope you guys have a great week. Bye-bye.